Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Successful Women's TV show. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen. I am co-founder of Everyday Woman TV, a professional speaker, and a serial entrepreneur. One of my favorite things to do every week for you is spotlight a woman from all over the world that is out there doing amazing things. Today, I am excited to have join me from the UK, Lucia. Welcome, Lucia.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. I love that I get the opportunity to interview women that are doing wonderful things to help others from all over the world. And that's one of my favorite things about technology, as I mentioned to you before. So I'm going to share a little bit about you, and then we're going to jump right into your amazing topic, unleash your creative potential. So here we go. Lucia DiMarco is a transformational coach and educational consultant. She is a multi-professional with passions and talents expressed through coaching, education, consulting, parent mentoring, and as a yoga instructor. She's founder of Dansosophy and an international performance artist and teacher. Yay! So my first question for you is, I love this word unleash because it just, I don't know, it energizes me, right? It does this thing like power, let's go. So the first thing I want to ask you is, when we're talking about creative potential, let's give those listening and watching a little understanding of what we're talking about. What do we mean by creative potential?
Okay, thanks for asking that question. So if we look at the meaning of the word creative and going back to its Latin roots, the Italian word of creative is creatività, which broken up is made up of two words, create, life. So it's in its Italian version, it's very expressive. So creativity brings life. So when we are creative, we bring forth life, the life that lives within. So this potential we all have, but because it's a potential, it's something that lives there as a seed.
Okay.
And it's through our own will and actions, through the right thinking, the right feeling, that this potential we can bring to the world. So I work with women, I work with children, I work with parents to bring out this potential, this seed that lives within everyone, that is so completely unique and different from everybody. Yes. So this potential, we as human beings have this right to bring our talents, to bring our passions, whatever ignites us out to the world. And it's a potential that for me is my absolute number one most favorite thing to do in the world, to see people's talents and to draw them out. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what I love doing, and that's what I've been doing in my own life. And I mentor and I coach women to do the same.
So first of all, I have to share with you that I absolutely love the way that you describe that. I'm just gonna, that's your unique way that is so perfectly illustrated and shared that I was like visualizing what it would be. So, wow. First of all, yay, I love that. Second of all, I can hear in your voice, I can hear how passionate you are about what you do. And that's what this show is all about. Women that are passionate, that are out there doing not just what I believe they're supposed to do, which would be your creative potential, but also what they were meant to do. So thank you, Lucia, thank you. I love that. So now that we understand what that means, and first of all, I want to share with you that I 100% agree with you. I believe we each have something unique in us. And I think as women specifically, especially because my show is for women, I like to talk about that. As women, we sometimes think we're dime a dozen, and that's an American expression. There's so many people like us, right? But we don't realize there really isn't. So there might be 10 people or 100 people or 300,000 people that are transformational coaches, but not one is going to be like Lucia. We already know that. So that's what I love about this creative potential description that you shared and definition. So let's jump in. Can we give our audience a few ways that they could potentially unleash their own creative potential?
Okay. So there are many different tips, but I will share one that comes to mind straight off the top of my head. So when we want to unleash our creative potential, what is very important is the environment that we're in, and the people that we surround ourselves in. Because if we're in an environment that's not conducive to our expressing our most authentic self, this potential is going to more than likely be hidden away within us. So to be mindful of the people that you surround yourself with, and that these people are people that will motivate you, nurture you, inspire you, support you, and to really give you a lift up and that safe space where you feel like you can begin to explore who you are. Because if we're not in a positive environment, a warm environment, and I don't mean physical warmth, I mean that soul warmth, where you feel safe and supported. So this is really, really, really important. The right environment, positive environment, which then is the beginning of a positive thought, positive feelings. So it's all about our environment, because our environment can inhibit us or can empower us.
That's such a beautiful way. First of all, I want to share with everybody, this is the first time that I've met this fabulous woman. And we messaged a few times through LinkedIn, and I just loved her energy and I loved her posts. And I said, you know what? I want to interview her on my show. But it never fails that it's part of the alignment. And the reason that I bring that up is because exactly what Lucia just said is exactly what I tend to attract for this show. So that excites me. Now, women from all over the world, and when you're putting yourself in an environment where you can feel comfortable being genuinely and authentically yourself, and we've all experienced the opposite, or most of us, maybe you've been lucky and never, but most of us have, then what happens is a lot of people out there are trying to, what I call, dim your light. And a lot of times it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and the way they feel about themselves. So what I love that Lucia said is you've got to make sure you have this environment of support where you can grow authentically. So ladies, if you don't have that, which a lot of the women in our group, Everyday Women, don't, we have 14,000 women, and a lot of the women show up to our networking events and say they don't have that, find it. I don't care if it's Everyday Women. I don't care if it's ABC Women. Find it, because today with technology, it exists far and close. Like, look at Lucia and I already know we're going to be fast friends. I can't wait to email you things afterwards and have you be part of our groups. And so, all right, so the first thing is, let's talk about your environment. Let's talk about, are you in a place where you can grow and allow yourself to grow without being stalled, judged, held back? What else should we be doing to unleash our creative potential?
So let's have a look at our life, our habits, because our habits really form who we are and who we're going to become. So if we have habits which aren't conducive to helping us to express and bring out that authentic leadership. So leadership is like to be yourself, to express yourself. You know, it takes energy, it takes focus. So we really need to have a really healthy environment and a healthy routine to be fully energetic, expressive, and in focus and aligned with where we're going. So this is really, really interesting when I work with women, because we get back to the very, very, very basics. Okay. The breathing, the rhythm, the posture, your attitude, and we work on shaping your outer form. And you get a very different feeling when you feel that you are upright and your heart is open as opposed to closed. And when you work on the posture, it's really interesting how it does influence how you feel and how you think.
Yeah, and breathe.
And then we look at
and breathe, exercise. Right, Lucia?
I mean, all about breathing.
If I'm like this and I'm like this, I am not giving my lungs the place to breathe correctly. It's almost hard for me to breathe right when I'm like this. But sitting up straight and being it's almost like you're present. It's your, hey, I'm here, right? So I love that you brought that up, because I think breathing is one of those things that people don't think about because we just do it naturally, but they don't recognize that a lot of time we don't even give ourselves the breath we deserve, or we can actually create. So I love that you brought something up that's probably a little bit different than what most people say. So please keep going.
Okay, so yeah, we can stay on the breathing, the conscious breathing, because breathing is something we do automatically. We don't think about it, so much so that we're not maybe sometimes aware that we're breathing incorrectly. So when we're breathing incorrectly, that has a lot of effects, tension, stress. It's very uncomfortable to be breathing incorrectly, but it's also not allowing that vital life force to enter your body. And you have, without knowing, a closure in, because when we're breathing consciously and correctly, and the posture change, we open up this central area where our heart is, and we become conscious of the fact that we are breathing, and we are with a new intention to bring this, beautiful. Because breath is light. So we breathe in light and we breathe out.
Just take a second and you
breathing in and out to the world, because we want to bring that light that's within us, this creative potential, and to ignite this fire that's within us. We have all this fire, and sometimes for whatever reason this fire sometimes just burning a little bit low, and with the right intention, the right vision, reconnect and really understanding what it is that you're here to bring to the world. What is it that you want to bring to the world? Who's it that you want to be? What is it that lives within you, this potential? And breathing, posture, and lifestyle choices makes a huge difference to allowing this seed to germinate.
Absolutely. So let's go a step deeper. We've got a few more minutes left. Let's go a step further for our logical brain people. I always like to kind of hit both sides, because I have women that are very, okay, great, Lucia, you told me to be in the right environment. You told me to have the right posture and breathe right. But now, how do I logically find or unleash, or at least start? I know there's a longer process. Please understand, Lucia. That's why people hire you. But how can we give those that are listening and watching just a little bit of logical steps that they can go, okay, but I still don't know what I'm supposed to do, Lucia. I did everything you said.
Yes. Okay. So like I had teachers, I had coaches and mentors. So I am where I am today because of the coaching that I received, that the education I received. So the learning process of breathing, understanding our lifestyle habits, when we have the right support, when we make the decision that we want to make these changes. For example, if somebody wants to lose weight, for example, they may join a group with a leader that initiates a program for them to follow. So when we have a new routine that we can work by, something to work with, that's where we see the changes. So to do it on our own, it can be done. But if you have not been taught how to breathe properly, it's not something we're just going to pick up following a YouTube video. Some people can. So to get on the right track, I always recommend to find a good coach, a good mentor, a good teacher that can really help you get the right breathing and understand when you're not in the right environment, because sometimes our environment is so there, present every day, that we may not be aware that it's not conducive to our well-being because we don't know anything else. So that's why it's always essential to work in partnership with other people that can help you see sides of yourself that you may not see yourself because you're in it.
So
I hope that speaks a little bit more to the logical brain.
It does. And I kind of want to stop there, but I want to share real quick with those that are listening and watching that what Lucia is saying makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to just elaborate a little bit more for clarity. you can't see for yourself what other people can see for you. If you already could, you would already know how to unleash your creative potential. It's that simple. So if you're listening and going, well, I really want to know how, it's not something that you can just be told in 3, 4, 5 steps and do it typically, because we can't always do those things for ourselves. So I myself, even with my status and where I'm at today, I hired a coach 7 years ago and said, I know I want to do more, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I know I have a passion, but I'm not sure what that is. And I love sharing that story because people look at me and think she's just always known and it's always been easy for her. And no, it hasn't. So what Lucia is saying is, if you can't see it for yourself, find somebody, learn from somebody, have somebody, almost pull those things out of you. Like Lucia said before, pull them out, the unleash, the pull them out, whatever it is you want to call it. So I love that you use that as your last tip. I think it was perfect. I think it completely makes sense to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So Lucia, how do people learn about you, connect with you, work with you?
Thank you for asking. So people can connect with me via my website, luciadimarco.com.
Perfect.
There's the opportunity to book in a free personalized 45-minute call with me. And in that call, we're going to really get a good look at the true essence of the person on the call and start bringing to light what it is that ignites the person on the call,
Yes.
and how we can potentially work towards bringing what lives within into a profitable career, or it could even be launching a new business. So this within 45 minutes it's a very fast track coaching call to see where you're at, where you want to go, and where are the gaps between the two.
And what plan you need to put in place to help them get there and work with them, I'm sure. Because once you get through that, you're like, okay, wait, we have a blueprint almost. I'm going to call it a blueprint for our logical people. And now let's go, right? Lucia, let's go. And then I'm sure you work with them to get them where they are, where they're supposed to go, where they want to go, or help them figure out how or what that is that they're supposed to do. So I love, love, love that. So Lucia's name is at the bottom of her. So you can just type that in .com and go to hold of her. Are you also on social media, Lucia? Where can they get a hold of you there?
So I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn under
Perfect.
Lucia DiMarco.
Perfect. Easy way. They can message you there as well and learn more, or on your website. So I appreciate you joining me. Thank you for joining me all the way from the UK. I love that. And
thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate everything you do to help others, a transformational coach and educational consultant. So thank you for being here today. Yay. I appreciate
so much.
Yeah. And for those of you that are listening and watching, thank you so much for tuning in again. I lost count. It might be episode 60, 61. I've been so blessed to keep doing this. My name is Galit Ventura Rosen, and this is the Successful Women's TV show. And keep watching Everyday Woman TV. And if you're interested at all in having your own show and sharing your expertise, please reach out and we'll get you started. Bye, everybody.